In World War I, there were battles, and then there was Verdun. For 300 days in 1916, French and German soldiers fought across just 19 kilometers of land. Forests gone, villages erased, mud and smoke everywhere. Men and earth alike were torn apart. Verdun, in the hills east of the Meuse River, became a symbol of suffering. Survival wasn't enough. Only endurance mattered. Every trench, hill and stone came at a terrible cost. Today, we'll follow 5 pivotal moments to see why Verdun became the darkest battlefield of World War I. Verdun wasn't supposed to be a normal battle. The German plan was simple and brutal. Bleed France white. Not to conquer territory, but to kill so many French soldiers that the entire army would collapse. On February 21st, 1916, the Germans opened with one of the heaviest bombardments in human history. Artillery fire so intense, it erased entire villages from the map. Flamethrowers, stormtroopers, and waves of infantry followed through the ruins. Verdun instantly became a meat grinder. Here's the battlefield on day 1. A narrow front, just 8 kilometers wide, is smashed by German firepower. Haumont, Brabant, and the French first line collapse in hours. The front bends, cracks, and begins to pull back toward Verdun itself. As the French fell back, ammunition ran low, reinforcements were rushed in blind, and men were sent straight from trains to the front with no rest. General Philippe Pétain took command and issued one order. Ils ne passeront pas. They shall not pass. But the Germans kept coming. 3 days later, the situation has nearly collapsed. The German line bulges deep inside French positions. Key heights are lost. And for the first time, the French front stands only kilometers away from Fort Douaumont, Verdun's largest fortress. And then it happened. On February 25th, a small German raiding party slipped into Douaumont through an unguarded entrance and captured it almost without a fight. One of the strongest forts in Europe, taken in minutes. This was Verdun's darkest moment. By early April, the Germans have driven deeper into the Verdun sector than at any point in the war so far. Douaumont lies behind German lines, and Fort Vaux is exposed on the front. On this map, you can see the largest German gains up to this date, a moment when Verdun feels dangerously close to collapsing. The fighting becomes a constant storm: mud, gas, artillery, and bodies everywhere. French reinforcements pour in along the Voie Sacrée, the sacred road, a lifeline kept open at all costs. Verdun is devouring both armies. By August, the Germans have reached the deepest point of their entire Verdun offensive. Fort Vaux has fallen, and the German line pushes closest to Verdun it will ever get. The French army, battered, bloodied, barely standing, somehow refused to break. Pétain's strategy of holding at all costs had worked. Germany had spent too much, lost too many, and gained too little. From here, the Germans never push further. By late summer 1916, their offensive has burned itself out. Entire divisions are shattered. The battlefield is already littered with the dead. Through the autumn, France shifts from holding the line to pushing it back. Fresh artillery, reorganized divisions, and relentless counterattacks slowly reclaim ground taken at an enormous human cost. By winter, after nearly 300 days of fighting, the scale of loss is undeniable. Around 300,000 soldiers are dead. Nearly 700,000 men in total are killed, wounded, or missing. Douaumont is retaken. Vaux is retaken. And Verdun, the battlefield that devoured two armies, returns close to its original shape, a front line nearly unchanged, but forever marked by one of the greatest human losses of the First World War. Verdun didn't end World War I. It didn't break the enemy. It didn't redraw borders. It did something much darker. It showed what happens when a modern industrial war refuses to stop, when two nations pour everything they have into a battlefield that gives nothing back. Verdun became a symbol, not of victory, but of endurance, suffering, and the unbearable cost of war. A place where the earth itself was torn open, where soldiers were changed forever, and where entire generations carried invisible scars long after the guns went silent. Verdun reminds us that some battles aren't remembered for what they win, but for what they destroy. And Verdun destroyed more than we can ever measure.